When we start seeing this extreme heat, do you typically see an increase in people with heat-related emergencies?
Absolutely. It's definitely something that's on the forefront of our minds whenever we're seeing patients around these times where the temperature starts to rise. So I think this is a very timely discussion on how to recognize things early and how to treat and prevent in some ways.
So let's talk about it. Two of the biggest dangers, heat exhaustion and then also heat stroke. What's the difference between those two things? And then what are the signs that we should look for that either one's happening?
Yeah, definitely. So I think both of them are on the spectrum of heat-related illnesses. Heat exhaustion is kind of the earlier sign. So you might see yourself sweating heavily, but having kind of cold and clammy skin. You might notice that you're having muscle cramps, that you're feeling lightheaded or feeling faint, that you're developing a headache, that you're decreased energy, or even kind of a loss of appetite. And if things progress, that's when you start getting into heat stroke, and those can be more severe symptoms. So that's when you start noticing that your heart is beating really fast and heavy, that you're starting to feel dizzy, that you're feeling weak, you're trouble breathing, and even at times hallucinating, or even at the worst of cases, losing consciousness. And those are kind of the distinguishing features between the two.
Okay, so doctor, how long does it typically take for the symptoms to begin?
Yeah, so I think it's very different for different individuals. And so I think it's very important to be attuned to your own body and the early signs and symptoms that you can see. It's really more about the preventing part of it than recognizing the symptoms. So staying cool, doing things to prevent these from even starting is really important.
So let's talk about the humidity, because we certainly have it out there today. It's 87 degrees, and I don't know what G said, but you can feel it. Does that make things worse?
No, absolutely. Humidity is going to be one of those things that loses your body, that cause your body to lose water, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that lead to dehydration, and that can progress to these kind of illnesses. So it's not just about the sun being down on you. The humidity is also a big factor.
So are there any people who may be more at risk for these heat-related illnesses?
Yeah, I think everyone is at risk. I think there's a particular vulnerable population, the population that maybe can't be as attuned to their own body or can't communicate. So if you think about young children, if you think about pets, if you think about the elderly that may not be able to communicate with you when they're not feeling well. And also think about some of the signs and symptoms can be related to your skin pigment. So you might notice that your skin is turning red, early signs of like sunburn if you have lighter pigmented skin, but may not be as recognizable if you have darker pigmented skin. So there are some differences there.
All right, so let's talk about this, because people, you hear stuff and then you're like, am I experiencing a symptom? What can somebody do if they start to experience symptoms?
Absolutely. So I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is some of this is reversible. So if you're starting to notice those early symptoms, get yourself into a cold area. Try to get yourself into an air-conditioned area. If it's not your house, public areas such as shopping malls or public libraries are great options. You can call 311 to see if there are cooling areas open for you to visit. Take cold showers. That's another good tip. Stay very well hydrated. If you can, even like in ice water baths, really cooling your body. Those are great ways to kind of reverse some of these signs and symptoms.
All right, such good things to know, especially when we're seeing these temperatures not going down anytime soon. Doctor, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.